Welcome to Kratos BI. This is the Power BI Luchador, and today is Wrestling with Data Wednesdays. On today's feature, we're going to be talking about use the relationship function. And what do you want to talk about? We're not talking about an abusive boyfriend or girlfriend. We're not talking about how you use someone in a relationship. We're talking about the DAX function use relationship. You know how we want to do it. We want to get right into the mat. We want to get right down to the nitty gritty. Let's head on over to the desktop. Hang on. Before we get into the video, make sure you go down, hit like, subscribe, so you get notified to all the content that we put out. Make sure you turn on that alarm bell. For those of you who do, leave a comment down below. And we're doing a drawing for Power BI merchandise. You too can own one of these great Power BI Data God shirts. So make sure that you subscribe and enjoy the channel. All right, back to that crazy guy. All right. The use relationship function is a very useful when you're dealing with a complex model. The Kratos BI data model that's available for you out on our best way on getting started in Power BI website. Go out to the page. You're going to want to download the latest version of the Kratos BI dataset. This has non-breaking changes in it. So if you're already using it, go ahead, just download this. You can continue to use this amongst all of your other reports. So you want to download this, and then you'll be able to follow along. If you're looking for more information on use relationship, I'm going to put links down below to the Microsoft document, links down below to some good articles from SQL BI, and links down below for the DAX guide to use relationship. But I don't want to just link to this other stuff. I want to show you how you can use it and where you would use it. All right. If we look at the model that's available inside Kratos BI, you can see that this model is incredibly complex. Zoom in, zoom out. It can be really hard for you to understand what's going on inside this model. That's why we create this new view that hones in on the two tables we're going to be really looking at here. We're going to be talking about one of our fact tables, the FactResellerSales, and we're going to be talking about the date dimension. Inside this fact table, there are 3 joins over to the date dimension. Now, the tabular engine will only allow one active join at any given point in time. So when you make these types of joins, you're by default, if you have, for a record in a fact table, you have many different joins to a different table. One of those, you're only going to be able to set one to active. By default, all of the other joins are going to have to be inactive. This is where the use relationship function comes in. You basically tell DAX, or you tell the tabular engine, hey, I know normally you use this join when we're calculating this measure, but for this measure, I want you to go in and I want you to use this join in doing our calculation. Now, I'm going to show you where that comes into play. If we go in and we look at the reseller amount due, the reseller amount order, and the reseller amount ship, I add these into a view, and what we're going to see, if we go up and we go to our date dimension and we go down by date and we look at fiscal month year, I drag that in, fiscal month year. Now don't do this. We're just kind of do it to show you some of the differences where you might see some differences, right? So if I go into here, let me zoom in. Well, even that looks like garbage, huh? All right, let's blow this puppy out. We're going full screen, right? So, this is all garbage, but we're not going to be keeping this anyways. But you could see, like, normally these values would be identical because it's the same measure, it's the same summation, except for we're using a different relationship. So it's these measures are kind of moving throughout the time period across that same dimension, right? So you say, hey, Power BI Luchador, how do I go in? What's the syntax? How do I write this stuff out? That's a great question. We're going to go over, I'm going to show that to you. Let me pull this puppy right up so you can see this. As I zoom in, you can see the basics are pretty simple. So here's your normal one. Here's the normal one. We've got this is going to be the measure that you have for your active join, right? So it's just a summation of that sales amount by the fact table. When you're talking about using the use relationship, you're going to be leveraging this calculate function, except for inside of calculate, you're going to put in use relationship, and you're going to include both the table and field name on how you're going to do your joins. Okay, so we have those in the reseller sales amount for order and for when it was shipped, right? So this is just when it was due is the base, is how you want it naturally defined. Here's the measure for when it was ordered, and here's the measure for when it was shipped. So if you think about it time-wise, the value when it was ordered is the first time this item would appear inside the data set. When it's shipped out would be the second time, and then amount due is when that's going to be paid off. So there's 3 different points in time where you might want to look at that fact table record. This allows you to control when, the values that you're going to be reporting on across each one of these, okay? Now, this is incredibly powerful and useful, especially when you're dealing with multiple joins across, from one fact table to other dimensions. I'm going to call out like a big foul here that I'm hoping that the Power BI Luchador doesn't have to get too fired up about. But right now, use function doesn't work with row level security. So if you use a row level security, you have to actually add in different role playing dimensions, and that sucks because we don't want to load the same dimension twice. We don't want to do that. We want to use relationship. Role playing dimensions are for chumps. Chumps, I say. We'll talk about that some other time. Okay, that's the use relationship function. Thank you for dialing in and to Wrestling with Data Wednesdays. We really appreciate it. If you like this, you want to buy this Jamocha coffee, head over to KratosBI.com, buy him a coffee. You can't meet me in Starbucks. I'm not going to do that stuff. It's crazy out there now. So head over there, buy me a coffee. I'll send you some of these great Power BI stickers that I got. And if you like the content that we got going, hit the links down below. We got merchandise. We got all sorts of stuff. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification, or the Power BI Luchador is going to have to come for you. Have a great night. Bye.